Hey guys, it's Ken from Hectare Portugal, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of a stunning 5-hectare homestead that's in the background here. It features this beautiful old stone granite barn that's set on urban land, and what that means is that it can actually be renovated and turned into a livable house, so that's pretty important. The 5 hectares of land is divided up into agricultural land, so we've got these beautiful terraces here where you can grow crops and things like that, and then we have like a sort of nature park area where they've done like a beautiful clearing where you can sort of park and you can camp and do stuff like that. Stunning granite stones, and then we have a forestry area. There's also an agricultural well, and there's a beautiful spring that runs past the property that has water all year round. We're in the Guarda district of Central Portugal. We're on the north side of the Serra da Estrela mountain range, and we're on the outskirts of a little village in the background here called Figueiró da Granja, which I believe means fig of the farm. It has 2 restaurants and some shops, but if you're looking for a little bit more, about 5 minutes away by car, you can get to another village that's got a healthcare center, hardware stores, shops, banks, restaurants and things like that. If you're looking for more than that, you can get to the city of Viseu in about 30 minutes. Now that's going to have absolutely everything, all of your amenities and services and shops and everything you can imagine. And if you want proper city life, in 2 hours you can get all the way up to Porto, which is an absolutely stunning city in the north of Portugal. In 3 hours you can get to Lisbon, another amazing city. In 4 hours you can get to the capital city of Madrid in Spain. And if you go down south, in 5 hours you can get down to Faro in the Algarve, and you can go to all those beautiful beaches, Faro airport. So yeah, transport links to this place are pretty awesome. Now the access to the property is on tarmac. It's only on the property itself where it goes onto a little bit of dirt track. So it's a 5-minute walk from that village of Figueiró da Granja, and you're on this stunning bit of land. It gets so pretty as you start to walk up here with all the granite stones and everything, and I can't wait to take you. And I'm just going to show you the barn. So we have a cement block barn here. It's obviously going to be very useful for storing stuff. It's been all painted up, and let's just go through the big metal doors here. Now obviously this is not the living accommodation, this is the storage area. As we go through, let the camera adjust. So this is the type of building that they would use obviously for storing things like tractors and agricultural machinery and equipment. But it also has this over here, which is a big concrete tank, and they would actually use this for making wine back in the days. So it's got a nice old wine tank in it, which is pretty cool. So it's a nice big space. It's 45 square meters. It's got a lot of roof height, as you can see here. It's a tin roof, concrete blocks, quite basic, but definitely nice for storing things. And I can see like this, these are some mimosa poles that he's been using to make little fences and gates and things like that. And this has come off the land itself. All right, now let's get to the exciting part where we get to walk around this beautiful bit of land. So it has this really cute driveway that leads up to the house over there, and on this side here, just going up to where the border is on this side, we can start to see all of the granite rocks and things, and all of these beautiful ferns. I absolutely love these. Now we do get these in Fundão, but where I stay in Castelo Branco, I don't really see that many of them because our farm's a lot hotter and a lot drier. The summers over here aren't going to be as harsh. The winters are also going to be quite cool. But yeah, I think the weather over here is not going to be as extreme. So, you know, if you're buying a farm in Castelo Branco, you're going to hit those 40-degree plus temperatures. Here, you might hit those, but it's not going to be as hot as where I am. Now, the land itself is divided up into different terraces. Up here is where Jean has parked the car. She's actually just up there in the car. And we've got a bunch of different terraces going down that have all been cleaned and cleared. And obviously where the house is over there. And then this is the lowest point of the land. And we can see by all of these ferns over here that this is actually like the wettest part of the land as well. Now there's a stream that actually runs past the house. It doesn't run all year round, so in the summer it isn't running, but in the winter it runs, and it comes down and through here and out the bottom of the property underneath the road. But there are other water sources on the land, so we do have like a large agricultural well, and there's also a spring that runs all year round and provides water that goes into a beautiful water tank, and we're going to see that in a moment. The sellers of the property were telling me that when they bought this, it was completely overgrown and abandoned, and they've done so much work cleaning and clearing. We're actually going to see on the back, they've actually gotten rid of a lot of old, dead sort of forest and stuff, and now we're left with some very healthy looking, beautiful pine trees. They've also said that there's no eucalyptus on the land, there's only pines and oaks, and there is a little bit of mimosa, but mimosa is actually really good firewood. I'm going to put a link to the seller's advert on Idealista. It's just going to be in the video description just below, and also the top pinned comment. So if you're interested in buying this property, you want to know what the price is, and you want to get in contact with the seller, it's all going to be in that Idealista link. So have a click on there. One thing I absolutely love about this property is all of these stunning granite stones. Look, there's even a little pine tree growing out of this one. That's amazing. Now this is actually a tiny little pebble in comparison to what we're going to see as we walk around the back here. There are some absolutely massive stones, and as we walk around this way you can start to get a bit more of a peek of the house itself, made in some really nice granite stones, but we'll get there soon. And as we walk up this way, we've got Gina sitting in the car. She's sitting in the back of the car. Yeah, she is. She's found herself some shade and she's just chilling in the back of the car here. Let's go and say hello to her quickly. Hello, Gina. Hello. Are you having fun there?
Yeah, I've been knitting.
You've been knitting? Okay. Cool. Well, anyway, I need to get back to work. So these are some of these mimosa poles. Look at this. And they've made some nice little sort of fencing and gating and things. And this is a lovely little spring, and we'll get to that in a moment. Let's go down to the house. Now, these are these mimosa trees that I was talking about. They're actually an invasive species, but they're super beautiful and they make amazing firewood. And they do send little tendrils out where other trees grow, but if you keep on top of that, look, you end up with an absolutely stunning tree. We've got a couple over here and they are making some really nice shade for the car. All right, there's going to be a lot of stuff here that's going to sidetrack me, so bear with me, we will get to the juicy stuff. Yeah, and this is some of that mimosa wood. So tons of wood on the property itself. Let me just give you a little view. This is where we've walked up from where the garage building and everything is, and we've walked up the road. We've got a little view here of the spring water that we'll get to in a moment. But let me bring you to the barn itself. So this is on urban land, and the entire footprint of the house, I've been told, is 100 square meters. So it's quite large. I've also been told that they've got authorization to go up for another 50 square meters. So you could get 150 square meters of home if you were to buy this property. We've got some really nice big granite stones. Look at them. They really are monstrous. And the building itself is actually very straight. I mean, if you look down the sides, and then from the front of the building, we look out and we've got some amazing views. Look at that. That's the Serra da Estrela over there. And we can see a little bit more of it over there. And obviously it's got views that stretch all the way across the land itself. So, wow. Right, I'm just going to go have a peek inside. The building's got quite a nice face to it. I especially love these big like lintel pieces and these huge stones. I think the way that these stones are, I think they're going to point up really nicely and give you a really beautiful renovated sort of old stone granite barn look. But yeah, let's cross over this big threshold here. Look at this giant slab, and let's go inside this huge barn area. Wow, okay. So there's a bit of a step down, and we've got quite a large area here. We've got an upstairs door on this side here, and we've got a big window up on this side here that I've been told has amazing views. So we're going to try and see if we can see out there in a bit. We do have like a sort of very basic mud floor. I believe this was used as a barn for animals, but the actual ground it's on has been now listed as urban. And so what that means is that you can actually renovate this and you can live inside this legally. So this can become a habitable house. So yeah, really nice space. It's actually quite light in here, considering it's only getting light from that door, that one, and one upstairs. And we've got, well, they've put a little ladder here. I'm not going to be going up this just yet, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go and show you from the outside there. But before we get there, let's just have a little look all the way up to the top. As I said, they've been told that they can go another floor on top of this, add another 50 square meters or something like that. All right, let's go around to the other side and have a look. They've made some little stairs out of some of the granite stones that they found around here. There's also, this is where we parked the car, but you can actually bring your car down here. It is kind of flat, so you could actually park out the front here. I would probably look at doing some kind of a deck out the front here. And perhaps this becomes the front door or something like that, and you've got another floor on top and the floor down below. But yeah, look at this. We've got some big old granite steps going up. And again, like a really nice stonework. Some of the barns that you see don't have straight stones. They're all tiny little pebbles, and they aren't, nicely done like this. So yeah, that all looks good. And then we've got this floor over here. I've been told that I mustn't walk on this because I will go through, and also that the beam on here is a bit dodgy, so I shouldn't walk on that. But I mean, look at this. I'm trying to get you some views out of the window. Actually, this little camera isn't picking it up, but I'll try and see if I can get another camera that's got that can show you the views through the window there. And we can also see from here that there's a lot of height. I mean, I don't have my measurement tools out here, but it is, you've definitely got proper floors in here. It's not like it's going to be a pokey build where, you know, you don't have any headspace. It's actually going to be quite a nice big building once it's all done, I think. And the roof doesn't seem to be in too bad a condition. All right, now while we're here, I want to show you the spring that's right next to the house. I'm kind of showing this in a bit of a strange order at the moment because it's a different order to what the seller showed me. But I think it's going to make sense when I take you guys around. I'm also going to put a map onto the screen now to show you exactly where we are in relation to the property, so you can kind of work out where things are. So there's this little spring that basically comes out of the rocks just in front here. And as you can see, it's making a little stream that comes down here and through all of the terraces. And I just want to show you where the source of this is. It's gold to have something like this in your property. I've been told that this doesn't run dry, it runs all year round. Obviously it runs a lot quicker in the winter time, but even in the summer you've got water that's trickling down. I don't know if you can hear that here. And we've got this big tank, and this big tank is obviously holding quite a lot of water. And then I've been told that the spring is coming out the rock there at the back, but underneath the ground. So you've just got water constantly coming through here, and a beautiful natural pool. Now there is a little bit of algae and stuff like that. Obviously this hasn't been maintained or anything. It's just kind of, they've been here and they've been cutting back all of the brush and everything, getting the property ready for the summer. And obviously a lot of stuff gets to fall in. But I mean, I can see from here that the water is actually very clean and very pure. And yeah, what a treasure to have this. And this is actually right next to the house, which is just over there. Now they've got this little channel running down here. And there's also another little channel that runs down this way. Let's go and have a look. So you can basically send water across the terraces. And look at the difference in this terrace. So look how green this is. Obviously it's getting lots of water. All of this is soaking into the soil. And then we've got another terrace, another terrace, another terrace. So you can send water off in this direction to filter through this terrace. And they've made another little channel here. And this one drops onto the other terraces and obviously goes past the house, which is really pretty. It's like a little creek, well, obviously not river, but like a tiny little stream that comes past and gives you waterfalls that cascade and drop off and run down. Now you could obviously then channel this along this terrace, bring the next one down and then channel that along that terrace. And that way you could irrigate those fields, so you could grow crops on there in the middle of summer, you know, when water's scarce. But obviously, you know, all year round you could grow stuff. I'm crazy about water, so I just had to come here and have a look at this little waterfall that's trickling down here. How sweet is that? Okay, so while we're here, let me just give you some more looks at what the house looks like before we move on to the other areas. So we can see on the outside, again, really straight. That's where that window is on this side. They've got a nice sort of flat area here. Obviously it would be better if you could build some kind of a deck or something, but they've put down some of these mimosa poles. I like the look of that. It's very rural and farmy. It's quite cute. So yeah, let's just go around here quickly. Really nice, big, strong granite stones. Really nice straight edges. And it's built on some big rocks. It's built on rocks as a foundation, so we've got a really nice big foundation on there. Now, this is kind of a valley section. So we're all the way up, and then the property itself dips down into a valley. That's where we came in on this side over here. This is where the garage building is. That's like the lowest point. And so what happens here in the winter time is there's actually a river that comes through here. It's all of the water that comes out of the mountains and stuff, and it channels through this section, so you've got a bit of a river. Now fortunately it's nice and low down. Obviously the house hasn't been built in a part where the river can affect it, because this is much lower down. But and when I say river, it's more of a stream. But where I'm going now, this is actually a bit where there's a little waterfall. And so this is actually an area where there's a waterfall. The owner she's actually sent me a clip that she took on her mobile phone a couple of months ago when this was running, and there's a beautiful little waterfall going in there, a nice little rock pool at the bottom, and then obviously this then flows back and through. We've got some more rocks here, and what this does is it runs past the house and goes down through the bottom here. Now it's quite common, a lot of these properties in Portugal have got like a stream or something that'll only run in the winter, because it'll be sort of rainwater and mountain water and stuff like that, and then obviously in the summertime when things get dry, the ground just sucks it in. But that'll come back every sort of, you know, winter time, early winter time, springtime. And then we've got an agricultural well, so it's been all fenced off so that nothing can go in there or fall in there. But basically I believe this is what they would call a charca. So what they've done is they've basically just dug. It's like a well, but it doesn't have any casings on the wall, and it's quite deep. They usually make these about 8 meters, but I'm not sure how deep this one is, if this one's more of a pond or if it's an actual charca. But obviously if this does, you know, if it isn't deep and if it does run out of water, then you can just dig it deeper. There's springs underneath the ground, and that'll just keep the water in here. So yeah, I'm going to show you on a map now exactly where we're standing, just so you can get an idea. And we're kind of going to walk through to the front of the property now. I know we've been at the front on the front entrance, but there's an absolutely stunning rock formation that I have to show you there before we head on all the way back and up into the main sort of 5 hectare section. And as you can see, this is a lovely flat terrace. We've got the borders of the property going along this sort of hedgerow here, going along where the property steps up. It's actually, the borders of the property are quite distinct because there's border stones going all the way along, and there's also some walls in some sections. So it's quite easy to tell which part of the property belongs to you and which part of the property doesn't. But I do like the fact that it's got this gigantic flat terrace. This is the house in the background here, just behind the tree. And we've got this big flat terrace. Then we've got the drop where it drops into where the stream runs through. And then we have that sort of flat bit going towards the front of the property. And in the wintertime, they were saying that this almost becomes like a bit of a wetland. So, you know, you're going to have lots of frogs and newts and salamanders and lots of beautiful water life. And you can even see now that it's summer, even there's still lots of greenery in here, so it's still quite a nice sort of wet piece of land. All right, so I wanted to show you this. These are some huge granite boulders absolutely covered in moss, and they're at the front of the property. Now these aren't even the big ones. There are some huge ones. I mean, this one is massive as it is. I just wanted to take you to these because, I don't know, I think they're really special. This is a huge, huge slab. Look at that. So that's the entrance, that's the barn. This is the little road going out front. Here's the border wall that I'm talking about. And you can trace that all the way back up through the property, and it zigzags all the way back up there and all the way through to the back. So we've retraced our steps. We're back at the front of the house, and now I'm going to take you through to that side of the land. And it's a big piece of land. I think we've probably only seen about 1.5 hectares, and what's 5 hectares in total. Just wait, I just got to look at this again as I come past. Imagine having a lovely dip in here in summertime. Absolutely stunning. Now you're going to have to excuse me, it's a hot day today. I am going to be panting a little bit because a little bit of this is uphill, but there are some nice flat sections as well. As I said earlier, the sides of the property are demarcated with all of these border boundary stones, and it's the whole way along, so it's quite easy to see what land is yours and which isn't. And also we've got around 10 meters that's been cut into the neighboring land here, so it's basically a nice little fire break and stuff like that. And then the land itself, as you can see, the trees have all been cut back nicely, so they're nice and spaced out. And the higher we get, the better the views get. Look at this. I must say, I do love walking around places like this. It's basically like going on a hike in nature, but I get to take you guys along with me. And if I see cool stuff, other people get to see it too. I really like how there's all of these beautiful granite boulders everywhere. There's like forest. I think this is what they almost call like a nature park section where you can drive through on the little tracks and you can see nature. But then you've also got the agricultural plots where you can grow stuff and it's nice and flat. You don't have all the rocks in the soil. So it's a really nice blend of land. And there are tracks that run through. I'm not sure if our Golf will make all of them, but these don't look too bad, huh? I reckon a regular car can get up here. Right, so I'm going to show you on a map exactly where we are. Then I'm just going to pan the camera around and show you back down now. So we've got the house just down here on the side, and these views, look at this. So stunning. Ha! Yeah, the owners must have done a lot of work around here, because this is, it's very clean and clear. It's, you know, places like this can get overgrown if you're not here looking after it. You can see there's lots of place where you can park up and you can park your cars or your caravans, your camper vans. And you can see up here there's some beautiful areas where you could do that. Obviously you have your main house down there, and as you go up into the hills here, you just got beautiful nature. So nice. I can actually see a little glimpse, let me walk across there, of where the river runs through in the winter, in the springtime. It's where all of these ferns are. So there's that stream that comes down the mountain here and cascades down, and obviously that's where we saw, sort of by the house there. And I imagine that as, you know, spring comes, summer comes, and the ground starts to dry, all of these trees and vegetation just suck all of that water in. And so unfortunately a river like that won't run all year round. But yeah, it is still beautiful to have. And imagine coming down here in the wintertime and just hiking up here and going down into this little gorge over here and watching the water come past. Really, really nice. Right, so I'm going to do a little map check so you know where we are. And yeah, we're about to go to a very high point of the land. It should give us some incredible views. I'm not sure if you're allowed to build here, but look at this beautiful stone. This is the kind of thing that they would have built an old building on, a huge piece of granite. Now we can see one of the peaks up here. This is, I think we should go up there. Now the owners had a lot of trees growing there. It was like, you know, a whole stack of trees that were growing very closely together. Bit of a fire risk, you know, when you have something like that going on. A lot of dead wood and stuff. So they basically logged it all. And the reason why they did that was so that they could free up this area so that it could be turned into a more natural state again and plant things like cork oaks, the strawberry trees and things like that. Expose all of the rocks and everything to the sun so that natural species and things like ferns, look at this, can start to pop up and populate the area again. And yeah, so this whole area has been cleaned and cleared, which is actually a good thing, because if you did have like 2 hectares of very tightly packed flammable forest on your land, it's going to be a bit scary to live there. And it's also, I think it's illegal to have something like that. So quite nice that that's already been done. And it must have been a hell of a job, because I mean, I'm climbing up a little hill. It's like your own little mountain on this piece of land. But wait until we get up to the top. Phew, I'm getting out of breath. But yeah, don't worry, this isn't what the whole piece of land is like. It's not like the whole thing is these big peaks. Actually, I'm an idiot, look, there's like a little path. So I just climbed up the side, but there was actually a much nicer path. So let me take this path. I think the views are going to be crazy up here, look. Oh yes, oh my goodness. Look, as I come around the corner, this is the Serra da Estrela, the tallest mountain in mainland Portugal, and we can see it perfectly. In fact, there's an even better rock. Let me get up here. Oh wow, that is impressive. What a place to catch your breath. Panoramic views, 360 of an incredible place. So from up here we can't even see where the house is. The house is all the way down there, and you can see this area now has been cut back quite nicely because the forest was, I've been told, was exceptionally thick, lots of dead wood. So where we can see the edges, that's the limit of the property, the boundary of the property, and it kind of goes around. It actually goes up to this peak on the back here, and so it's even this section, and then it goes down into this little valley section. Yeah, this is very, very cool. I can totally see why, you know, the owners bought this place in the first place. It's a pretty piece of land in a very beautiful bit of Portugal. You know, this is like the first part of Portugal where I moved. We lived up in a place called Mangual de Serra, and oh man, like the village people here were just so welcoming and so sweet and so nice to us, and everything I found was absolutely perfect. apart from the fact that the village that I stayed in was 850 meters up, and at that height in the winter it got very cold. But I believe that this property is around 400 meters. I think the snow line's around 8 meters. So on a normal year, if you live 800 meters up in central Portugal, you're going to get a bit of snow. If you live below that, you probably won't get any snow, but you might get frosts and things like that. But yeah, lovely. So the land extends in front of us here. We've just come from the top of this hill. I've just walked around the side, and all of this area that you can see that's been logged, all of this going up onto that little ridge over there, is all the boundary of the property going back across here. Look at these stunning granite boulders. I know I keep going on about it, but I love granite rocks like that. It reminds me of South Africa. And from here we can see a little sneak of Figueiró da Granja, the village. Yeah, you know, places like this really do remind me of the Western Cape, of the sort of Karoo area of South Africa. There's a lot about it that reminds me, apart from the crime. Obviously, there's zero crime here, and there's mega crime in South Africa. So you kind of get all of the pluses about living in a rural property in South Africa without, you know, having to sleep with one eye open, which is a real bonus. Now, I don't think I need to send you up to the top there, because you can see it quite well from here, and obviously it's a lot of climbing. But what I wanted to show you here was this dark section in the middle. This is where the stream runs through. So where these stones are here, this is the limits of the land, and then where these rocks are, it's kind of the limit of the land, and it goes up and around and down. But there's like a river that runs through here, or not a river, a stream. And so obviously this has just all been logged and stuff. It's all kind of like, you know, full of pine needles. But once the river starts to flow again, it'll kind of push it all through, and you'll get that river that comes all the way past the property. I don't know if I've done a map check for a while now, so I'm just going to show you on the map exactly where we are at the moment. And I'm going to head on over this hill and back down the other side again, because there's some incredible views and some incredible features to show you. Obviously this part's looking a bit like scorched earth at the moment, but wait until winter comes, wait till the rains come, wait till spring comes, and you're going to see all this natural vegetation coming through. Look at this beautiful little thing. Wow, glad they've left stuff like that. But yeah, it's all going to come through. This is going to start to green up, get covered in ferns, and if you were to plant your own stuff here, it would take over pretty quickly and look amazing. Okay, so now I can see the limits of the land again, and now once again I'm out of breath. But it's only this little peak that I've walked up twice now. That's the only sort of mega hike part. The rest of it's very accessible, and also quite accessible by car. So yeah, on the sides here we can see the limit stones. So we've come from this direction. The boundary limit stones run down there, and we're going to head on down the mountainside. Just before we get there, I'm going to show you on the map where we are right now. And they've got this other little entrance that goes into the property. You can see we've got a little sign over here saying private property. And so yeah, there's a little entrance where you can get through here onto this little dirt track that runs along the side of the property. So this is a public track, but it's completely separate. There's no public coming through your 5 hectares of land, and obviously it's signposted there. It's quite useful to have other accesses like that, you know, in case things happen to your road, like in the winter, if the road going up can get a bit slippy or something, then you've got like other ways of accessing the land. I tell you what, you buy a piece of land like this, you'll never run out of firewood. He's just got bundles of firewood all over the place, because obviously when they bought this, not all of the trees were in great condition like this. Some of the trees were old and fallen over, and so he's had to log quite a bit of it. And look at all this firewood. I mean, you're just never going to run out. It's all over the place. So we have this lovely little bit of forest here that then leads down towards the house, and we have obviously that little entrance there, and then we have these border stones. So the border stones are now going to run down across in this direction, and let's go down there now. Look at these 2 incredible granite stones, man. I know there's probably people sitting at home going, what is Ken going on about stones? But I just think these are absolutely fantastic, and they are going to get so much better. You should see the ones that are just in front here. They are so awesome. I think for the right buyer, this place has a lot to offer. You know, it's got agricultural land, it's got forestry land, it's got beautiful scenic kind of nature park land, it's got stunning views, it's got 2 water sources, it's got a very interesting building project. that has urban land, which is super important if you want to get planning permissions. And yeah, all in all, it's a very interesting one. It's a nice big piece of land. It's a big piece of land that you're also quite private on. You know, once you're up here, I mean, even from the main house, you aren't sort of looked upon and you don't feel intruded upon. And then if you come into this big open space like this, you just feel like you're in the middle of nature. It's incredible. I love properties like this, and especially when they're covered in gigantic granite boulders. I haven't been down here. I went down here. We saw this property a week ago, and I wanted to film it last week, Friday. But when we got here, it started raining. The weather was really bad. And I just thought, you know, a place like this has to be shown on a nice day, because it really just makes such a difference when you've got all the shadows and you can see all of the nature and you can hear all the crickets and little cicadas and things like that. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite features on the entire property. These giant boulders here, they are just magnificent. And I think there might even be a little cave in here. Oh, almost fell over there. Oh wow, yeah, look at that. Okay, I hope this isn't slippery. Oh, that is awesome. It's like a little cave. Oh wow. Yeah, that is so nice. Look at that. Oh jeez. Okay, I never saw this the last time I was here. Wow, that is so cool. Just got to be careful because there's like moss on here and I'm not exactly wearing the best shoes. I'm wearing like some camper sneakers. But yeah, so these amazing caves, how cool is that? I wasn't expecting that. And then that's the house just down there. So there's a nice little track going up here. And then another nice little track. Oh, it's not actually a track, no, it's got some stones. But still, for walking it's fine, but not for a car. And then obviously all the accesses here. Really, really nice. And then again, this is the direction where we came up from, so. Oh, it's so nice. So yeah, I think we've explored the entire place. I like to do quite thorough sort of walking tours that I know you guys enjoy seeing absolutely everything. Obviously on a stone barn like that, there's not really, you know, that much to show. I mean, the thing that's important about it is that it's a very solid structure that's obviously been standing for a very long time on a very solid foundation with very solid walls. The walls have been built really well. And yeah, again, it's on urban land, so you can you can basically build a livable house there. It's habitable and livable. This can be a residence that can have a post box. Another thing I didn't mention actually is this place has got 4G plus internet connection. So that's the mobile internet signal is 4G plus. And well, on our farm, our 4G plus gets us about 150 megabits a second. So that's pretty decent. That's coming through a mobile phone SIM card. Also 52 meters away, the owner said that there's connection to water, sewage and electricity. And I've also noticed that there's telephone poles with fiber optic cable. Now they ran probably about 500 meters of cable to our house to connect us. And so I'm pretty sure they'll do 52 meters, and we didn't even have to pay for it. That's for the internet, for the fiber. I believe for electricity and sewage and stuff like that, you will have to pay to connect those up. But all in all, I mean, I think the right person could turn this into an incredible property. I'm just going to go back down here because I saw Gina wandering off down here, and I want to see where she is. There she is. Hello, Gina. You know what? I've really enjoyed walking around this place. I know this is the second time that I've walked around this place, but I've really enjoyed it, and especially the views from coming down there and looking back down over the valley are incredible.
It has got a really nice feeling, this piece of land, if that makes sense. It just feels nice to be on here.
I think the main reason why it's like that is because you're quite close to a village, so you don't feel isolated, and yet you don't feel looked on because it's quite private.
It is private at the back there.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the tour, and well, if you want any more information, have a look in the video description just below. I'm putting the link to the property on Idealista. This is where the sellers have put the property up for sale. And I just want to say a big thank you to the sellers for for commissioning us to make this video. I've really enjoyed walking around here. I wish you all the best for your sale. And yeah, we'll see you guys later, and thanks for watching.
Ciao.
Ciao.